Hello everyone and welcome back to Bricks and Dragons. Today we have Figure Friday, and this is going to be a twofer only because I can't see doing one without the other. As you know, we had met one through the other. So as you see, we have the Mandalorian and we have Grogu. So I got these a little while ago. Here we have them. Let's get them opened up and go from there. Looking at it just from the package, for the collectors, it is kind of nice because we do have the see-through windows again. And I know a lot of people that collect these, they never take them out of the package, which I am the eternal child, and I'm sorry, I just have to. Just the way I am. This is what, 94, and I don't know what number they got for Grogu here. I don't see a number. So here we have the two of them. There is a nice write-up on the back, so people that do keep the 26 for the Mandalorian. Anyways, for those that are keeping the backs and all that, there is a write-up on here, so that is very nice. A good possible reason to keep it, although I don't have room for all of the boxes, so I will probably end up ditching the boxes and just keeping the figures. But we will get going here on Grogu first, because I think he is the cute little bugger that everybody wants to see and see how he fares, and we will go from here. All right. So unfortunately, this has to be the second time through. First time was so washed out, and unfortunately, I was in areas where you guys just couldn't see, so I'm trying to maneuver things, and you guys couldn't see. So I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to start with Grogu. So what we have here is we have Grogu, and we have his egg. Looking at Grogu first. Now, his head is a little on the rubbery side. His ears are a little, it's a harder plastic, but you can definitely tell a little bit of a rubbery side, which is very helpful. His arms are the only thing that really moves outside of his wrists. The head does not move back and forth. So in that regard, anything you're doing, you're going to have to kind of have him kind of move back and forth here. His wrist does move one way or the other, back and forth, the kind of wave, and it can rotate, but that's really all you have, that and moving the arm up and down. So very limited for movement in that regard. His egg here, you can see that there's some rivets in here for the Nerf hide leather, and it works pretty good. This is all one solid piece. It does not move. I was trying to do this earlier when I did this the first time. Now, I have 3 teeth here in order to try and fit it in here. I don't know what you want to call them, pegs or whatever, to try and get it in there. What I could not do is I could get it to set in here, but I couldn't get it to really kind of lock in there or anything. So I'm guessing that must be how they have it designed. To me, it seems like this should sit in here a little bit better than it really does. So I don't know if it's just something I'm doing wrong, I'm looking at it wrong, or however, but I can get that to sit on there, although I think most people are probably going to want it to be open like this, to have Grogu kind of right along here. We do have a necklace. Now, I tried putting this on here. It is very hard to get over the ears. So this is like a Mandalorian symbol that he had gotten, and it went on here. And of course, when I got it over the collar here, because it's so very tight, it was off center and I didn't like it. So I'm going to leave that off. We do have like a little snack here, and we have the blue on the inside here for the snack, and it's like it's wrapped up in like a aluminum foil of some sort. The only problem is he can't hold on to it. So I can't just give it to him and have it like he's holding on to it and chewing away. Now, I'm going to open this up again. I opened it up on the first video. I do want to watch out so I don't lose anything here, because what we have is we do have a small stone here, a very small gray stone. Hopefully you're seeing this. The problem is because I get the laptop screen behind me and I'm looking here. And that's why I'm re-recording this, because I was missing half of what I was trying to show you here. So we do have a small stone, and I will put that here. All right, and then we have a bowl, so I can put the stone inside the bowl here. And then we have a frog. So we have our one-eyed frog that he was chewing on. Now these are pieces I definitely want to be able to keep, so I'm going to keep it inside our little plastic holder, so they stay in there. Really neat, really cool. I'm going to adjust this up a little bit. I'm going to aim down a little, just up. All right. The whole thing is I got this pen here, and I had to stay beyond here, and my arms aren't overly long, so trying to do this so I know where I go. Okay, so I can move the pen, so I'm like 2 inches away from the stand here. And normally I try to get the camera so that way I'm getting close to the stand so I can kind of go all over here and you guys can see. And unfortunately, I wasn't doing a very good job at the first time through. That's why we're re-recording this. All right, so here we are. We have the Mandalorian, or Din Djarin. He has the bandolier here. And we have, this is his original armor, not after he had gotten the Vescar. I'm going to take the gun out of here. It was a Dickens to get in here, by the way. All right. So, looking at what does and does not move here. His head, of course, moves, and he's got a good range of motion, up, down, back and forth, and all that. That works out pretty good. Has a nice look of that Vescar, because I do believe he had an older Vescar helmet. But everything else is one form of either chromium or like a high quality steel or something. I don't think it was all Vescar, because I mean he came out with the Vescar later. The arms themselves, it's a regular ball joint in here. I know on some of the other figures that we've done where we have like that double joint, so you can kind of move his shoulders forward or backward a little bit more. We do not have that on him. His elbow here, we do have that, and we can rotate right there. So we have a kind of swivel joint as a double swivel. So we can do that. Now his wrist, right underneath the elbow, does rotate. And of course, right here at his upper arm, and then his wrist here. And we have his little shooter. So you see the shooter darts. What they call it? I want to say they call them fireflies, but I could be completely wrong here. I might be thinking of a G.I. Joe figure. The joints are pretty good. They're on some of them, they've been really stiff. These move pretty good right out of the box. So I know this is the second video going through here. It's not that I was playing with them a lot to loosen them up. He can move the torso a little bit, but with the bandolier here, it just doesn't want to move. He's got the movements here. I mean, he's got that extra joint here, but with that bandolier here, he doesn't want to hang off to one side or the other. So if you want him to kind of twist one way or the other to shake someone's hand, that's not going to work very well. We do have his cloak in the back, or cape, however you want to call it. He does have the double joints here. What we don't have is his legs do not have a top joint to move side by side. I mean, we can go up and down. It is a swivel joint as well as, or a double swivel joint, so we can go out, we can go up and back. Of course, it stops at the back of his butt stops it here. And of course, we have the nice double knee here. And the reason why I always call that a double knee is that's the top of the knee. And then here's the bottom of the knee. So I can always kind of reach back here if he's going to get ready to run a marathon, because he knows he's going to be chasing down a bounty. He can do that. He can stretch his leg out nicely, which is very nice. If you have him trying to sit or something like that, that gives you that availability here. So I think that works out really nice. We do not have a swivel on his calf. So he is not swiveling his calf. He's not. There's no swivel on his thigh, although his foot does have the side by side, and of course the front and back. So we do have that, and we have it on both sides here. So that works out pretty good. Um, Now we have his rounds that he uses on his rifle here. I'm going to say that these rounds are probably some other rounds that he's got for his rifle, as well as the couple sitting here. So he's got, you know, quite a few there. And I took a couple minutes to talk about his pistol here. And I'll get to the rifle as well, because the rifle is very iconic. For those, I'm sure most people that are watching this already know. For the couple people, like the 3 people that'll ever watch this that don't know, well, you'll kind of hear it here. His pistol here does look very much like it is an old gunslinger's pistol from like the Wild West. If you're watching any Western show, Wild West show or whatever, this does look a lot like that. Like it would be a space version of an old 6-shooter. Um, I don't know, how you would be charging or reloading this if you ever had to. It's never really stated in any of the shows or anything, but I'm going to guess it probably does. Um, kind of like Han Solo, he's got that block here. That's where the magazine would have gone. Whether it's filled with, just throwing it out here, like double A's, triple A's, something like that. I still think that would be really funny if somebody did a little knockoff video of a show, and every time they shoot, like a double A battery falls out, you know, um, Acme batteries or something like that, right? I think that would be really funny. Um, the silliness in my little head here. Okay, but this does look very nice. I do like how the color is, because we do have a different color here for our grip compared to the rest of it, and the way it's molded, it does look very nice. I can get that in here. I put his rifle in there before. I was having a hard time trying to get the rifle in here, and now I'm having a hard time trying to get the pistol in there. Okay, and his finger does go on the trigger, so we do have it. Pistol worked a little bit better than the rifle did. Um, I think it's just how his thumb was sitting. I was having a hard time with his thumb, of all things. All right, so there's Din Djarin. Looks pretty good. In all, I like how the figure looks, being the original version of how he looked. I think that looks very nice. Um, I think the Mandalorian, to me, always seemed like a Western out in space, and I think it worked really well. I think a lot of people liked it. Uh, Now, looking at the rifle, I know that this was a bolt action, like a breech action, because you would have to reload it every time. I'm not certain what this side piece is. I don't know if that's for opening the breech or whatever the case really is there. I do know that we do have a scope here, and that does work very nicely. This, for the 3 people that will ever see this in the world that don't know, this was originally drawn for Boba Fett in an old 1980s cartoon, and I want to say I saw it once, and I think maybe I saw it on YouTube, and it wasn't even the full thing all at one time. Um, it might even be on Disney Plus now. I'm not 100% certain, but that's where the look of this had come from. Is an old cartoon that they did when they were first introducing Boba Fett as a cartoon character before he was in the movie, I believe. Um, I want to say that's how it kind of worked, but I'm not 100% certain. So they did a very good job at recreating this to make it look like it did in the old cartoon, and it has a very iconic look to it. Very nicely done. All in all, everything here is very nicely done. I do like it. I'm not complaining about anything. I think it's a great addition to the collection of figures I have. It'll probably sit back here for just a little bit. as we kind of add on everything being Star Wars for the month as best as I can. Again, with the Black Series, with the G.I. Joe Classified, I have not picked up any of the Marvel series. So I don't know about the Marvel. Although Marvel being more superheroes, I don't think we have too many guns in Marvel. But the fact that, we are getting, and I get it, I'm an adult child here. We're getting the holsters that actually work as holsters. In order to get this out, I really have to kind of pull this back to get it out. But that is a nice feature. It's not just going to fall out. But as an adult collecting this stuff, this is very cool. The only downfall is we don't really get very many vehicles, and I think I made a comment of that in one of the last videos too. Um, we don't get the vehicles that we should, I think. I think for a toy company, you should be trying to get all this stuff out, and you should be knocking it out of the park. You know, we have the HasLab vehicles, the Hasbro Pulse vehicles. I think you could have two different types of vehicles. You could have the El Cheapo ones that are very bare bones, very toyish for the kids, or for the adults that let the kids play with, or simply that they can't find it and it's the ones that end up in the stores. And then there could be the high end ones that the collectors really want. I think that would be the best way to do all of the vehicles for our Joes, our Star Wars, our whatevers. I think that makes the most amount of sense. uh, since I had said that the first time, I've really been watching when I do go into my local Walmart or Target or wherever else. Really, it's the only two that I really have, so I'm very limited here. Um, but I really have been kind of keeping an eye, and uh, I know there was a company that has some radio control vehicles. I think they're a little small for these guys, uh, but being a radio control vehicle for about $50. For a regular city type truck that the doors open. One was an ambulance that would be a little small, I think, but you could probably make it work ish. I wasn't going to spend $50. I don't really, $50 for something like that is a little rough for me. Um, but if you knew it worked and you were really set, you wanted to get that vehicle, whether it was a Mandalorian speeder bike or, you know, for one of the other ones, um, I think people would probably buy one or two. So just saying, um, maybe the bigger planes. I mean, for his Naboo fighter, I think that'd probably be closer to like $75. $50 for RC is pretty good. And I know I think it was like $100 for a Millennium Falcon a while ago, and that sucker was almost half the size of my. This is a 7 foot pool table. It's not this is not an official 8 footer, uh, but still to say it was a good size. And this goes back a couple years ago, and I want to see they had it for $50. So I think there's a possibility. I think if they opened it up, they'd get a lot more toys sold. But these being what they were, these are nicely done, and I always try to find the stuff on sale if I can, um, because that's how I can afford it. That's why if I get some knockoff things of this or that or whatever, there's some things I'll spend the money on, but then there's others I'll wait for it to go on clearance, and that's why I'm presenting it to you later on after it's already gone on clearance or whatever. And of course, then because I'm doing typically one figure on Friday, I can't show these individually, because we got to see them together. So as far as I'm concerned, they have to be done together. So even though that there were two separate pieces, I had to do them together. And hopefully this all worked out pretty good. I think looking back here real quick, everything's in view. So hopefully this all works out and I'll get it all done up this time. Um, Thanks for listening to me rant and rave. I'm hoping you're having a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video.